fans, and then you might have Dethruptors fans, and we can go all the way till the cows come home to see how many different fans we can get going. But enough of that, lads. It is time for us to jump into Bazaar here. The real question is Barcode going to be put in a cage by the Dethruptor fans, or will they be able to fall to the Chiefs? Let's jump into Bazaar and find out, lads.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. Really looking forward to getting into this one. You know, we have seen, Justin, so far, these Bazaar CTFs have been pretty low scoring. It's just teams trying to establish some form of map dominance and usually just eking out a cap in those last couple of minutes. But when you do have a team like Chiefs who are so strong and objectively sound, are we going to see a much different and faster scoring setup here? We do jump on board with Apollo to start off, starting to make a move for that grapple, and we see Barcode taking it there. And I think Barcode almost always heads for that grapple at the very start, and he can then take his pick. Does he head up to rockets, or does he try and grapple that overshield to himself? He is unfortunately taken down though, so we are seeing Flex Trans moving on this overshield while Rice just keeps an eye on it. So overshield is now in the hand of the Chiefs, as we see rockets as well, and nice dodging there by Rice, making sure he avoids that, but he does have an overshield pushing in on him as well as rockets, and that's always going to be a hard one to get away from there. Justin is taken down.
Yeah, he is now on board with Apollo. Look at that. He's so many grenades thrown in with Barcode there, managing to secure the kill. And look at that. Chiefs have already got a flag on the move. Brady's managing to get it past that really danger zone there. And Rice desperately trying to put some pressure down, but no, Flex Rain comes in and applies the cover so that they can get the flag moving. Cluzy desperately trying to get that recover. Nice double kill from him. And look at this. Gets the double kill and instantly takes some map control here. This is exactly what you want to see if you're a Dethruptors fan.
Yeah, just keep going with that one. It still works, but they managed to actually get all four down for Chiefs at that point. So really putting a stop to that flag big time. And then you're right, pushing in really hard. And we are seeing a triple there in the hands from Cluzy. So that is four down again for the Chiefs. Overkill. No way. So that is good. If you're going to get a cap, Justin, that's how you do it. You get the overkill. But we do see here Chiefs get that spawn down the rockets, and they immediately, the first thing they do is they start to head across. So he's going to have Jordan on the left here, the Chiefs fans pushing in on him, and that's a very easy way to stop that flag. So it's just a matter of how much can they reverse this, the Chiefs. We do have a double from Rice. He's dropped, so that's four down for Dethruptor fans, unfortunately. So Chiefs get that lucky spawn, manage to head under through the river there, under rockets, and put a stop, and we're going to look like we're going to see a counter cap potentially here, Justin. So that overkill may have gone to waste effectively, not able to put that flag in, and it looks like they're starting to run this right down bottom middle, and they're getting pretty far along with an overshield.
Yeah, look at that. And Rice, he grabs that overshield and they're just beating the living crap out of each other bottom mid. And Brady's now hiding in the double doors here, waiting for his victim to skulk past. And look at this. He's trying to rotate through and checking his angles here. Can't really seem to find much going on. It's got a little bit quiet, but as I say that, a flag is on the move. Look at this. Brady's, he finds one second once there. Apollo gets the nice clean up there. Barcode going in. Andrew Garfield, web shooter in hand, launching that flag all the way across. He's running bottom mid without any kills. He's so confident in getting it across, utilizing that grapple to get himself a little bit closer over. And there's not much pressure being put on Barcode right now. And there comes the return. Not checking your angles. Barcode was still there. He copped a smack in the back into the respawn screen, and then Pips is there. Nice cleanup for him, and flags on the move.
Yeah, it looks like this is going to put in Pips just absolutely punting Cluzy out of the map, it looked like. They should be in a position to capture this. They're all just holding around the flag, and it looks like Fleckrans is going to make a move for this. Unfortunately, he's dropped. He can't put it in. That is two down for the Chiefs right now. Dethruptor fans all four up, so they are pushing it through the rocket side here. Two of them coming in. Four dead for Chiefs, so it looks like Dethruptor fans are going to get a last line return here. That's fantastic work, Justin. I thought that was in for sure, and I think maybe a bit of miscommunication among the Chiefs as who was going to run it. There was a bit of time where the flag just sat out the front of their base, no one wanting to take it, and those 1 or 2 second delays in running a flag can really come back and bite you. But we're seeing very different CTF game compared to the other CTF Bazaar games we've seen, where a lot of flag pulls are actually getting a pretty far distance. So that just is quite different to what we've seen in some of the previous series we've had.
Yeah, and look at this. But Prady's, he's had a free run all the way across the map. Does cop a grenade to the bum there, but not enough to send him off to the naughty corner. It does look like he's going to smack that one in. It's one up for the Chiefs, and it was very scrappy. The back whack comes in on the overshield player. Double kill, triple kills there if he wants it. Does get the trade with the help of his teammate there. Now on board with Jordan going in for the cleanup. The thruster, he's completely lost. He has no idea where it is. Doesn't matter. Manages to get the cleanup up there, throws out a grenade, cutting off those angles, and here comes the player coming in for the cleanup. Needs a fresh mag in his BR. He's in big trouble here, doing his best to stay alive, Hoots, but he does go down. Now on board with Barcode, throwing up that shock nade there. Area denial up onto the cubby there, and now he's moving into the flag. That's trying if he can get one moving, finds himself Jordan, puts him down pretty easily there, and now rotating into the base. We're going to see another flag on the move. Both flags are out, I think, Hoots.
This is the most chaotic game of Bizarre CTF I think we've seen so far. It's just, I was actually finding some of the other games a bit, pretty slow paced, but we're just seeing absolutely insane slaying coming out from both teams and flag pulls from both teams. And, if to only be up 1-0 with the amount of flag pulls that we've seen from both teams is just insane. Barcode's just been patrolling bottom mid here for a while, putting in some great shots there on Rice, taking him down. They should be able to make a push potentially to get this flag through the double doors now. Although we do have Jordan trying to put in a fight. Barcode manages to slide in, just get a touch and keep it alive. It will sit out the front of double doors. So they're going to have to be pretty exposed to Dethruptor Fans if they want to return this, but it looks like they're in a position to do it, Justin. They're going to send this one back.
They are, and it's very critical that they did. They just double body hopped it and got that flag back in the base as soon as possible. Does look like that overshield is about to pop. That's going to be key for Dethruptor Fans to utilize that. The Spanker coming up at the same time, and where do you put your resources? Do you commit to the overshield and get that, or do you use the rockets to get the overshield? It's a tough one to say, but it does look like Praties is getting ready to grab that Spanker. It does get a little bit of pressure applied, but no, rotates straight away. Plenty of shields to deal with. Overshield does look like it's burned, and it looks like Chiefs overshield's burnt, and they get the rockets. They're in a good position here to get another flag moving.
Yeah, Prady's moving in now through the bar, getting that height advantage. He'll be able to drop Apollo there. Very he picks up the double actually with the rockets. Can he find a triple? Unfortunately, no. It looks like the other two Dethruptor Fans have moved through to the tree, so he's actually going to head that way, and that's what you can do with those rockets. You can feel so confident that you can run the flag straight towards enemies when you typically wouldn't, because you've got those rockets in your back pocket and you've got an instant kill sitting there. So they did get 3 down for quite a while there, the Chiefs, but they are managing to move this flag now through the bottom middle. This seems to be the route they're taking most of the time, Justin. It's straight under that little tunnel there and then through the double doors here. I'm liking this from Praties. He's taking a bit of his time. He knew someone was in his base. That's Rice. Rice is now going to get taken down, so should have a pretty clear run, I think, at putting this flag in to go up 2-0.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a fumbly run. He didn't do it with much haste, but he got it there in the end and used those rockets perfectly. He got 3 kills and then just solo ran it across the map. So amazing stuff from him. Apollo with some tasty shots to put that player back in the respawn screen. Spots himself, flex range, backing him off, and it does look like Dethruptor Fans, they've got a flag on the move. Is it comeback time, Hooters? I'm not sure, but Apollo already got that flag close to the halfway mark, launching it across, and he's going to expose himself top mid. Oh, you haven't got time to mess around there, mate. You know, the market's closed. No fruit for you. And look at that. He only just narrowly not making it through those double doors. And if he hadn't have fumbled, he maybe have made it. And here comes the return. Are they going to be able to stop that from going back in? 2 bodies on that flag. Quick return. And look at this. A counter cap maybe, Hoots?
Yeah, potentially. There's a fair few deaths coming through. I did like the idea of the Dethruptor Fans trying to run it across to the bar side to try and stop those spawns under rockets, because they have been getting hurt by them a few attempts at flag pulls so far, where the Chiefs have just been able to run straight under, untouched into their base to stop the flag coming back. But we do see now Flex running it this exact same route. So this is clearly the Chiefs route. If you are watching this and you're competing against the Chiefs, if they're running flag, this is where they're going to be taking it. And we can see it looks like he's going to get through these double doors as well, taking a few shots, but they've got enough teammates there up. We've also got Pips with the overshield. He can almost just put that on and just start tanking shots as he can get it almost up that ledge. But this might not be in, although with only 1 alive for Dethruptor Fans, I think it's pretty safe to say it will be. So 3 flags up now for Chiefs. This is a much higher scoring, a Bizarre CTF game than we've seen in previous series, Justin, and this is also a bit of a statement from them, I think.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I know the Chiefs have got a 3-0 lead right now, but Dethruptor Fans, they've been putting up a pretty good fight, and they've gotten flags out, and they've just narrowly missed out a couple of times, and they had the flag all the way over on their side of the map and just couldn't get them in, unfortunately. Cluzy doing his best there, not able to connect on that kill, so he's in the respawn screen. Now on board with Pips. Fresh Banker's there if he wants it, slams that in, looking around for players, opting to be a little bit lower on the map, does grab himself some thrusters in his back pocket, looking for a player, connects on one more rocket to play with, and he can just take his time and wait for the players to push out And 2 minutes 30 on the clock. It is doable for Dethruptor Fans to bring things back, but it is going to be a hard-fought battle with Chiefs playing the way they are. Pips with a nice clean up there. Shields are flashing. He does get called out and cleaned up though, Hoots.
Yeah, look, you said there is time, Justin. You're not wrong, but things have to go pretty damn perfectly for Dethruptor Fans now to get at least 3 caps to tie it up in 2 minutes. It's, it's certainly going to be a challenge. We should mention, this is one of the Chiefs' strongest maps. In fact, they actually took this off the Pioneers at Raleigh on CTF Bazaar, winning 4-1. So, certainly they're no strangers to this map and game type. So, I guess if you're Dethruptor Fans, do you take that away as we move into that next Slayer? They're most likely going to go in down a game. But, just understand that this is Chiefs' best map by a considerable margin, and so they do have a chance to rebound off that. But with a minute 45 left, it's going to be very hard for them to turn this around.
It is going to be tough, but got to stay objective with things looking their way. Rice with the double kill there, starting to move that flag out. They do have an opportunity here. He didn't hesitate to get that flag moving after a couple of kills, doing really well to run this flag. Nice. Not a lot of fumbles. This might be the cleanest run. Well, as I say, Caster's curse. He fumbles it, the butterfingers come in, and he drops it, sliding down onto the floor. Oh man, I'm sorry about that, Rice. I shouldn't have said that you're running it really well. Caster's curse.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate there. Even just to get a bit of respect on the scoreboard and not get 3-0'd or whatever it ends up being, just to at least get a cap would be a positive. But it really can crush you when you think you're home and then all of a sudden it's you fumble the flag slightly, and before you know it, you've got several Chiefs players on you, and it's just not happening. So look, they're going to get this flag return here. Dethruptor Fans, only 45 seconds to go, so I think we can put a line through this game, Justin. But this has been a pretty strong performance from the Chiefs, and particularly let's look at Barcode there. 28 kills, 10 assists, 17 deaths. We were saying going in that he's been feeling a bit under the weather lately, and perhaps is that going to affect his performance? But putting up these kind of numbers, just so much more than the rest of his team, I think he's doing just fine.
Yeah, and Barcode just doing what Barcode does, which is just dominate everyone that he sees on the map. But we do see Jordan and Cluzy on the 20 bombs, respectively, on their side. So you take out Barcode for a minute, and the slays are pretty damn even. So Dethruptor Fans doing their best to keep things respectable, but this game's over. There's 3-kill lead, and there's only a few seconds left. So 3-0 in favour of the Chiefs in game 1.
Yeah, so there we go. As you said, it's it's put that one in the past, I think, and we move on to the next game. We move on to a Slayer where they don't have to worry about the objective so much, and we had pretty solid slays coming out of most of the Dethruptor Fans there. So no one really holding back and getting in the pretty low teens or anything like that. So they can take that as a positive as we move into this next game. Far different map as well. Bazaar is a tricky one. You have to slay out quite a bit to be able to make caps on that map. And so knowing and having that communication of how many are down constantly, how many times have we slayed them, where are they spawning this time, where should we be running it? There's just a lot of things that sometimes teams who have only been together for a little bit amount of time can't get together. So when we move into a Slayer, it's purely really about call-outs and pushes. So if they can take that, but just look at that Barcode, 7,836 damage, far and away the highest for his team. And just the amount of stuff he was doing there. We saw dropping, assassinating OS players and things like that. Just a lot of bare knuckle brawling, as you said, Justin. He was putting a lot of damage there and stopping a lot of those pushes.
Yeah, just being a star player on the map, but Barcode doing what Barcode does. But one thing, Cluzy had that overkill, and the fact that didn't really translate into a cap. Those opportunities, they've got to come your way. And, he clutched up. He got those 4 kills, and he tried to get the flag running, but his teammates should have been there to help him out so that he could get that flag across. And if you're getting 4 kills and not capitalizing on that as an opportunity, then you need to go back and assess your gameplay a little bit there. A bit of tough love. They've been performing really well, but if you're getting 4 kills, wow. As I think I said, that's when they were beating the living crap out of each other there, Hooters, and just a brawl at times, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bare knuckle brawling, just a lot of just punching dudes in the face, and but it was super chaotic, and it felt like the chaos was almost suiting Dethruptor Fans at the start because they were just constantly pulling flags whenever Chiefs were, but it just seemed that after a while Chiefs got into the swing of things, and Dethruptor Fans maybe starting to panic a little bit. You know, when you've been holding your own for a while and then that first cap goes in for the other team, the panic can set in a bit. You might start doing things you weren't previously doing, going against that formula that was working in some sense of the word. So that's when it did start to turn around, and once that initial chaos was done, it just seemed like the Chiefs were able to run amok pretty much. We saw Barco just hanging around bottom middle, just doing whatever he wanted, and when you're doing that and have that kind of freedom, it's just really hard for the opposition team to arrest any momentum back and try and swing that back in their favour.
Yeah, and it felt like Brady's, he had a flag out every opportunity. He's just running them all the time. You see it, the flag's moving, getting tossed around, and there's Brady's throwing the flag across the map. And, you know, Chiefs, they were not shy about getting flags moving, and you touched on it before. It is one of their stronger game types, so no real surprise that they managed to take out that map. But Dethruptor Fans, they put up a showing and they did everything that they could, and I'm really looking forward to this next game because the Slays was pretty even across the board. When you have one player like Barcode, it's a bit of an outlier, and you need to shut him down in this next game in the live fire Slayer. You got to take out a player like that, take them off the board as often as possible. It doesn't matter how good someone is. If you 2v1 them, you will take them down. So hopefully Dethruptor Fans can put things together and double stab Barcode, take him off the map, and then secure themselves a victory.
Yeah, and let's get a snipe in the hand of Rice on his mouse and keyboard and see how he goes with it as well. You know, a lot of us have found that sniping in Infinite's a little bit more clunky than it has been in typical games, and so it might lend itself a little bit better to a mouse and keyboard player. So see what he can do with that. You know, the setups are going to be interesting in this map that we've seen. It seems some players, the emphasis on the sniper seems to have moved a little bit away from holding holding sort of around the B side and the ramp. It's moving now across to holding around the C tower, looking over that camo and OS, and using that as a real power weapon to try and just stop the other team from grabbing those power-ups, because the power-ups can make such a crucial difference in terms of breaking setups and being able to just sort of hard-nose your way into setups and start just causing a disruption. So Dethruptor Fans, I'll be interested to see how much sniper they can control on this map and how they actually implement using it. But you know, we're straight into it, Justin. Dethruptor Fans, top 3 is guaranteed for them so far. They've at least finished that, but if they can somehow manage to win this one against Chiefs and then move on to Slayer Oddball, they're facing Divine Mind in the final. So this is huge for them, and you know, I really am keen to watch Rice on this and how he goes with the snipe in his hands.
Yeah, and a lot of even just the BR, he's a lot of long sight lines on this map. It does get tight at times, but it's all about your positioning. If you put yourself in a position that's going to lead to your strengths, then you can utilize that as much as possible. And Flex Rain's there using that AR to take out Cluzy. Already one on the board, nabs that sniper rifle, hits the ankle. You know, Achilles, watch out. I probably would have one-shot him. But Flex Rain opting to rotate that sniper away, really not being too aggressive with it, hits a nice body shot on Cluzy, gets the cleanup. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. Just intelligent play with Flex Rains, making sure that he's utilizing the sniper ammo as much as possible and checking angles and just rotating around the map, not wanting to give it up, Hooters.
Yeah, so keeping an eye on the B here and looking to move into the nest. All that being said, Jordan's there, but these no scopes he's hitting it just fantastic, tossing a nade in there as well. Jordan's gonna have to back down. His little ankle showing out as well. It doesn't manage to get hit, and so smart by Flex Rains to back out a little bit. He knows his team's setting up in A. He's got that sniper in his hands. There's no point trying to lose it and go for the Hollywood shot. So let's just push through with the teammates while they distract. He can look to maybe line up some headshots straight down the middle here. But he's just poking away, and they're sitting there tempting him. But he's causing a distraction there, as we can see, while Barcode just runs in and picks up the kills. Rice completely unawares there. He's caught, and so a nice lead being built by Chiefs here, doubling the score right now, 13-6 even they've jumped out to. So Dethruptor Fans caught a bit unawares at the start.
Oh, and Pips, a little bit of pressure there, wasting that last snipe bullet there, which is nice. And I'm not sure what's going on there. A little bit of player collision though, just inside of each other. And Prady's getting a nice clean up there, and he's got that heat wave too. And you know what? The Chiefs, they utilize those power weapons so well, already picking up 1 kill. Seconds there if he wants it. Doesn't connect with any of the shots, but doesn't matter. You know, only his fists matter for that double kill there. Who's connecting on that nice reload onto the Heatwave now. That overshield. So the camo, is it? Yeah, it's a camo on this, but I'm pretty sure. Excuse me. And Needle is there too if you want. I want to see some Needler action, Hoots. I don't know if you're a Pink Mist fan.
I love it, yeah, and it's actually been beefed up a fair bit in Infinite, so it's worth picking up. But look, Chiefs are making a real statement here, right? They want to move straight through. They want another crack at Divine Mind after getting 2-0. They're not used to being down in this elimination bracket, probably feel that it's not where they belong, and so they're really coming out strong here. A 12 kill gap already, and look at that, just Barcode running around like a maniac. Rice running straight in front of him, completely unaware, but a nice trade there for Rice actually being able to get that back, so Barcode's dropped. But you know, we need more than that in terms of when you're down at a level like this in a Slayer. You need to be pulling these back and getting 2 or 3 kills per death. But the momentum for Chiefs right now is just super strong. They're rolling through, and like I said, they're keen to get back to that final and have another crack at Divine Mind.
They are, and we're talking about the Needler before, and Pips with it. He does go down, unfortunately for him. Scoreline is still within margin. Dethruptor fans can bring it back if they want to, but, you know, betting man would favour Chiefs at this point. They have the momentum from the previous game. They have the Slayer lead, and look at this. Barco desperately trying to rotate that sniper away, and look at that. He manages to slink away with that fresh sniper. So much pressure. They're really sniffing him out. They must have heard me in the commentary. Just take out Barco at all costs, and they'll swamped him, taking him out. And players just dropping left and right, Hooters. And the scoreline right now kind of starting to bloat out a little bit. Apollo doing his best to take out the player from the BR tower there. He does go down himself. Barcode, the wrecking ball, comes in, throwing all those grenades through, puts in a couple of little shots down the long hole area there, and just utilizing his life here. He's so confident in challenging people, but he knows when he shouldn't be challenging people too brashly and just giving up his life. Easy double kill for him. Power up about to pop, and he grabs it, smacking that camo onto him. And no heat wave to utilize with it, but it doesn't matter. Easy grabbing the ammo. We're going to wait for it to spawn, Hoots. There we go. Fresh ammo.
He's got the heat wave on respawn timer. Why not? And it's look, one thing I find about Barcode is his use of the crouch in particular is just at the level above so many others. You know, he just knows where the cover is perfectly and is happy to crouch around and wait. You know, a lot of players just try and run away from fights, whereas he'd prefer just to crouch down and stand completely still. When the nades come in, he can start to make his move then, but why push himself out and take unnecessary shots? And look at that, just perfectly waiting there for Cluzy, and catches him unawares, and there's the trade going through. And we are seeing now this kill lead blow out a little bit more to 13. So Chiefs are starting to run away with this one here. Dethruptor fans just not really able to get anything going. It doesn't look like they've had much control of the snipe at all, or the power up with the camo. And we just see here, like, you know, Rice going up against 4 players, doing really well to stay alive there, but picking up just 1 kill and not really having the teammates to come in and help him until just now. But it's a little bit too little too late. He did have a few players there lined up that he could have taken out. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to really capitalize and only pick up the 1 kill. So it's a 10 kill gap now. Dethruptor fans bringing it in a little bit, but geez, they're gonna have to be really conservative with their lives now.
Yeah, they'll need to play perfect Halo from this point, Hoots. It's a pretty dangerous situation. It is best of 3, so Dethruptor fans, their backs are up against the wall right now, and Rice trying to do his best. Will he win this 1v1 versus Barcode? No, he won't. He does drop down to try and rotate away, but he gets taken out. Jordan with that heat wave, will he be able to stay alive? He does. Shields, look how weak he is. I mean, bloody hell, he could stub his toe on a rock and he probably would have died there, Hooters. But now on board with Apollo, and just hiding out in the little hallway here. He's got some sticky nades there. Maybe he'll go for a tasty little trade. He tries to throw one out. Doesn't connect, unfortunately, Hooters. But Dethruptor fans, I'd say, sorry to say, Barco getting the connection there might be all she wrote for them. Only 6 kills to go for the Chiefs to put this one in the bag.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much just run around, run and gun if you can for Chiefs. I think they'll back themselves in one-on-one against a lot of the Dethruptor fans players and look to put this game to bed pretty quickly. Divine Mind sitting there waiting for them, obviously, and you know, at this point, can you blame them for their minds maybe starting to shift to that next matchup that they're going to have to try and come back from the losers bracket to win this one, which will be something different for them. Quite a story, but only 2 kills left now for the Chiefs, as we do see here Barcode. He's not leading the kills this time, but he's putting in a massive amount of assists with 11 assists assists, and just 1 kill needed now for Chiefs. And who's going to be the one to take this out? It's going to be Flex Range with the snipe. 15 kills for him. A really strong performance pretty much across the board for Chiefs. That's 2-0 Dethruptor Fans. Unfortunately, their run in this tournament ends. Top 3 for them though, Justin. That's nothing to sneeze about.
Absolutely not. They had quite a run, and getting knocked out of the tournament by the best team in the region, arguably, pretty respectable if you ask me. So Dethruptor Fans, hang your heads high. You did fantastically today. We'll see you next time. But Chiefs, it's time for a rematch with Divine Mind.
Yeah, I'm super excited for us to see this grand final. I'm excited for us to jump into a best of 5 with Divine Mind and the Chiefs going head to head, seeing who's really going to come out on top, whether or not the Chiefs have shored up some of their issues or whether or not we're going to have an absolute banger. But obviously with this, the Dethruptor Fans do bow out of the Pro Series here. But I mean, a top 3. What a good performance here from the Dethruptor Fans, being able to get themselves all the way up to a top 3 right now, secure themselves series number 2, and now they get to look forward to the future where they can only build upon this. And as you said, Justin, going down to a team like the Chiefs, that's nothing to scoff at. So, most teams in ANZ have done that as well. So, a little unfortunate for them. They ran into them in the lower bracket. But, Justin, we get to see Chiefs and Divine Mind for potentially 2 best of 5s in a row.
Yeah, you know what? If any team can do it, it's going to be them, and I'm all for it. I want to see two game 5s this time around, Hoots. I hope you've got the energy for it, because I'm hyped up for it, and I want 2 back-to-back game 5s. My heart might give out, but we'll give it a shot.
Oh, mate, the coffee machine's on and it's starting to boil, so I'm ready if we need to go this time. Still on holidays, so let's keep it going late if we need to. I'm more than ready.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be an absolute barn burner if we do get that bracket reset. And that is something for the Chiefs that I have to look forward to right now, is going out in Pro Series number 1. If they get the dub here, they're going to have to win the first best of 5, reset on Divine Mind, then win that next best of 5. And I think this was a pretty good warm-up for the Chiefs to be able to come into it. Obviously, they're looking still so dominant on those CTF maps that I think it's going to be a pretty big pain point for a lot of these teams who's having to go up against the Chiefs when CTF is going to be in the map pool if we continue these best of 3s.
Yeah, absolutely. It's there's a lot to go under the bridge, and I reckon this is going to go the pretty far distance. I think, Luke. I hope you're ready for it. I know Justin is as well. But yeah, it's there's a lot to happen here. And Divine Mind, just how warm are they now to get back into it? That's one of the big questions as well. They're probably not used to getting to a point where they can just sit back and relax for 2 or 3 hours. They've got to now get back into it. So that's something different for them.
Yeah, that's true. Usually on the other side of the coin, we see the Divine Mind lads who are the ones who are dropping down in that elimination bracket, and they have to make their run through the finals. So maybe this might be a different change of pace for both these teams. The Chiefs now, they get to have the 2 series back-to-back, have to try and get the bracket reset to at least get themselves a dub here, Justin. And I'm excited to see if they've learned much from their series belohand, or whether or not how much they learnt from that upper bracket match against Divine Mind, and whether or not we're going to have a very tight series like we did in that upper bracket, or whether or not maybe Divine Mind might be able to blow us out of the water.
Yeah, who knows? And I don't want to make any predictions.